So this year, she has more problems and is sick more times than before. But mainly it's a problem for the little one, for my son. It's the coughing constantly, severely, loudly at night. And you begin to worry about that.
Feng Cheng lives in Beijing, one of the world's most polluted cities. He has 2 kids. On the day we visited, his 2-year-old son, Sean, looked healthy, but he had already been to the hospital twice in the last 6 months.
The first time he suffered pneumonia, and then only 1 month later, second time.
Sean was sick again the week after we visited, and he was back in the hospital a month later. The air in Beijing is making people sick, and families are struggling to cope. Parents worry living here is doing permanent harm to their children.
I really worry about them because they are so young. They are too young, we're still very fragile, I think, for the body and the organs, everything. So then that's why so many Chinese, they try to emigrate to other countries, including me. Naturally, you have the kind of thinking, you have to move. She not left China or?
Feng owns his own business, teaching visitors about Chinese culture. He can afford to move, but it isn't that simple.
Okay, take care. Yeah.
It will take him more than a year to find out if he can even get a visa to leave China. In the meantime, his son's health continues to deteriorate. Here in Beijing, the pollution is 25 times higher than what the World Health Organization says is safe. Some researchers believe air pollution shaves 5.5 years off of people's lives.
This would be a public health emergency in any country in the world except for Beijing right now. I mean, you gotta be kidding me.
Dr. Richard St. Cyr cares for children with respiratory problems in Beijing's United Hospital. He says children are the most vulnerable.
Kids' lungs are still developing, so until they're around 18. So it could be permanent decrease in lung function for a certain percentage of kids.
St. Cyr has a popular health blog that provides guidance to parents on how to mitigate the risks of breathing Beijing air. He's also a new parent, so he isn't taking any chances.
I am doing everything I can for my son. I've eliminated 80% of his entire exposure to China. So he's probably living in air that's like San Francisco.
St. Cyr's technique may work, but it means keeping your child indoors and buying a good air filter. This one costs $1,500. That's about 3 months' wage for the average Beijing family. The Dengs can't afford an expensive air filter. They live in their cell phone shop. They moved to Beijing so that their 6-year-old son, Jide, could get a better education. But living here is making him sick.
Last time, he got a fever. I didn't sleep all night. I put a cold cloth on his forehead, and I changed the cloth every 2 or 3 minutes. It was impossible for me to fall asleep.
The Dengs are trying to protect their son by keeping him indoors, but it's not working.
He's always saying he's a little bit dizzy. I think it might have something to do with the air. The 2 years he was back home, he was never sick.
Their business is doing pretty well. They're making double what they made back home. But Mai says the air quality in her hometown in southern China is better. She wants to take her son and go home.
If my husband can't make a living back home, he will have to stay in Beijing. We might have to be separated. There's no other way. We'll do it for the children.
The movie theater on the top.
Feng Cheng is trying to protect his kids too. On smoggy days, he takes his kids to the mall. But unfiltered indoor air can be up to 5 times worse than the air outside. Feng Chung has applied for a visa to leave China. He's tired of taking chances.
That's why we say the only solution is that we leave the country. Yeah. It's really sad. I feel sad for the country. But what you can do?